Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. This video, I'm continuing my series on my 100 favorite movies of all time. I'm now in my top 30, so I'm going to do 30 through 26 on my list. Yeah, man, some absolutely amazing movies. I mean, these are all 5 out of 5 star movies, so these are movies I give the highest star rating I can give, best reviews I can give anyway. So yeah, definitely got some great stuff here, some comedy, some sci-fi, Western even, yeah, musical. Yeah, I got all of them here anyway. So I hope you enjoy this. And let's get down to my list here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a Saturday night. And yeah, glad to get back and try to finish this series. Getting a little closer here. Like I said, I'm top 30 favorite movies. I just started redid my 100 favorite albums, so got that list going. Still doing my Disney ranking list as well. So got a lot of lists going. Hopefully get them done by the end of this year and start new lists after that. But anyway, let's get to number 30. So number 30 favorite movie, it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And yeah, I've always loved this movie since I was a kid. I got this really cool, there's Oompa Loompas, got a really cool Blu-ray set here, or a lot of information anyways, but yeah, man, it's such a fun movie. It's a comedy, it's a musical. Gene Wilder, one of his absolute greatest performances of all time, one of a kind, one of my favorite comedic actors, and this is my second favorite performance of his. I actually have another movie actually coming up after this. I have two Gene Wilder, my two favorite Gene Wilder movies on this list this time anyways. But yeah, what a cool movie, you know, based off the book, Roald Dahl, I believe it was, you know, following this boy and going to this crazy wonderland of a chocolate factory with all these other kids and seeing all these cool visuals. Yeah, the movie is, like I said, it's hilarious. I mean, Gene Wilder puts in one of the best performances ever. Probably should have got nominated for an Oscar. I think it's so good. You know, and just the set designs are amazing, especially the first room where they go into, and everything's made out of candy and sweets, and they got the chocolate river. That set is amazing, incredible. Costuming, I mean, Willy Wonka's costume especially, but the whole costuming is amazing as well. And just all the so much creative ideas in that setting that you get to explore, you know, like that part, you know, the boat ride, the fizzy drinks, I guess, whatever that makes you float, the gooses that are laying eggs. I love when they get on that one thing and it's towards the end. There's only like two kids left maybe, and because they keep disappearing or something bad happens each one. But they go through this thing, get foam all over them, and then they go through this one thing, it cleans them. Like, I love that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool movie magic stuff. And then you get the room where you get shrunk and they shrink stuff down. Yeah, I just love all these ideas and then the music's really, really good. I mean, I've got a golden ticket. I mean, super catchy song, one of the most well-known songs there. And I love the scene where, like I said, when they get in that big room and come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Probably my favorite song. I mean, that Gene Wilder sings as they go into that room. They're going down the stairs. Love that so much. And then you get the Oompa Loompas. I mean, in the Oompa Loompa Doopity. I love those songs and how they tell there's kind of a moral story to each song of being a good kid and not being a brat. And then the ending is just so happy. It's just one of the happiest endings I've ever seen in the movie, where you feel so good for Charlie's a good kid. He's nice, he's kind, he's honest. You want to see good things. He's poor, so you want to see good things for Charlie. Charlie's a good kid. And so it's so great that, I can't spoil it, but the ending is just absolutely fantastic. The music, the musical score, oh, so good. Everything about this, I love musicals, and this is a great musical and one of the funniest movies ever made. So Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, number 30 on my list. Number 29 is another favorite comedy of mine that I love to talk about because I don't think people know this movie that well, and that's Mr. Roberts, which came out in 1955. You see, this is the kind of main cast, but man, the four main actors it's like an all-star cast, like some of my favorite actors of all time. I mean, starting with Jack Lemmon, really his second movie, I think, but really his first like kind of starring role in a movie, and so good. He's really he's so funny. He's really the kind of the funniest character in the movie. Kind of, I don't know if you want to say comic relief, uh, but he was so good that he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for playing this comedic role in his second movie ever. I mean, so pretty incredible kind of, introduction almost to Jack Lemmon, one of my favorite actors of all time, and go on and have a great movie career. But you got Henry Fonda as the main character, Mr. Roberts. Great performance, I thought. Personally, I think again another one of my favorite actors. Again, I think it was an Oscar-worthy performance. William Powell, his last movie ever. Another actor I really enjoy, good comedic actor. And then you got James Cagney as the really jerk captain of the ship. Anyways, he's really good. You really hate him. He does a good job of making you hate him. If you don't know the movie, though, it's based off a Broadway play that Henry Fonda was actually in won, I think, maybe like a Tony for Best Actor and all this. And they finally turned to the movie because he did it a while ago, I think, before this, during the war, maybe after the war or whatever. And so they finally got around to making this kind of popular play into a movie. So as you can see, it takes place on a Navy ship during World War II. Mr. Roberts is, well, you got the captain, James Cagney, and then you got Mr. Roberts, who's like a second in command. Mr. Roberts wants off the ship because he wants to be because he's on a cargo ship, and he wants to be on a battleship. He wants to be in battle. He feels like this war is almost over, and I haven't done anything. Like I haven't, shown any worth. Here I am during the war, and I haven't, fired at anybody or been in any kind of dangerous situation, and like he's afraid he's gonna go. The war's gonna be over, and he's gonna go back home, and he's gonna be like, I didn't do anything to help the war effort, or all this. So it's kind of this thing where he really wants to go out and prove himself, but the captain won't let him leave because he's such a good officer, and he's helping him get promoted. So that's how bad the captain is, anyways. And so the whole movie, it's kind of this fight between the two. You got Jack Lemmon, he's the office and morale, or the laundry and morale officer, Instant Pulver, and he's a bit of a coward, but he talks big. And then William Powell is the doctor, anyways. And those three kind of hang out together and all that, anyways. I can't say much more of the plot, but yeah, that's basically what was trying to happen in there, anyways. But yeah, it's really a comedy, though. There's some good dramatic moments in there. Though mostly it's a comedy, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like I said, Jack Lemmon, probably the funniest. I would say probably the funniest performance ever in a movie. I mean, I absolutely love his performance here. He does such an amazing job anyway. So, yeah, this is one of those movies I tell people you got to watch because not many people know about this movie. And it's only because my parents love this movie. And so I saw this movie when I was a kid, and I watched it. I've watched it so many times because it was one of those movies that was playing all the time at home because my parents really liked the movie. And so I kind of grew up just watching it. And so thanks to them, I knew about this movie, and I fell in love with it when I was young. Still absolutely love the movie. That's why it's 29 on my list here. So it's one of those I really want to champion. I was like, man, if you haven't seen this movie, you gotta see this movie, Mr. Roberts. I think you'll really enjoy it anyway. So yeah, and it's got a great, like I said, another great ending to it, and a great story, and great plot, great acting, all that stuff like that. So Mr. Roberts at 29 on my list. All right, number 28. Funny enough, on my list, I've got this is actually what I say is my favorite comedy of all time. So unfortunately, I don't have any more comedies after this, really, like pure comedies, so to say. And it's, of course, another Gene Wilder movie. It's Young Frankenstein. Yeah, it came out in the 70s at some point. Anyways, looks like 74 it came out. Anyways, yeah, you got Gene Wilder. Mel Brooks directed. It's written by Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder, and Gene Wilder stars as uh, Dr. Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's grandson, which he calls himself Frankenstein because he doesn't want to be known as a Frankenstein because he's a bit of a laughingstock in the science community. But it's really one of the first spoof movies that were out there. Of course, Mel Brooks became famous after, I would say, Blazing Saddles. This came after Blazing Saddles, which Gene Wilder was in as well, and that kind of started Mel Brooks being this great spoof parody director and writer. And so he started making a bunch of these, and this was one that actually was Gene Wilder's idea, but he had Mel Brooks help him out because he's never written a movie before. And he also wanted, of course, he's been in a couple of Mel Brooks already. They had a great collaboration, great, friendship, great, all that. So it just worked really well having Mel Brooks direct it. But yeah, if you've seen Frankenstein, and I saw Frankenstein just recently, so this definitely is a really good parody of that movie. A lot of story elements come from that movie as well. And Gene Wilder, yeah, absolutely amazing. Like I said, Willy Wonka, my second favorite performance. This is my favorite Gene Wilder performance. He has this amazing ability to talk very calmly and seem like this, and then go from 0 to 10, where he's just really yelling and going crazy. And that's a lot of his comedy kind of comes from his ability to just yell and be very, energetic all of a sudden in a scene, and it's great. A lot of great supporting actors as well. I mean, I'm gonna probably forget his name. Marty Feldman. Really, to me, I mean, it's a Gene Wilder's funniest, but Marty Feldman as Igor steals a lot of scenes as well. And I've never seen Marty Feldman in a movie before, so this is definitely like the best performance I've seen from him. He's absolutely hilarious. He's silly. He breaks the fourth wall, looks at the camera, does all kinds of stuff like that. It's at times this can be a very silly movie, and jokes can be very silly. But man, I think this movie makes me laugh so much. I've seen it again. This is another one my dad and mom probably, but my dad, I think, introduced this movie to me as a kid, and I thought it was funny. And even today, I watch this and I laugh my head off. It's like one of those things where I know what the jokes are, I know when they're coming. It still gets me how great the comedy is in here. But also, I should say, Cloris Leachman is so great as Frau Bruckler, and then the horses, like that's a whole great gag that happens throughout the movie. Cloris Leachman's absolutely hilarious. Great performance by her. Terry Garr, really good. Peter Boyle as the monster. I mean, man, yeah, great cast. It's very silly, but absolutely. Oh, Madeline Kahn, so funny too, in her small scenes. A lot of physical gags, I suppose you can say. It's mostly a physical gag kind of movie, and play on words and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I can't say more enough. Man, if you want to laugh, if you want a good comedy, check out Young Frankenstein. That was number 28. So going to 27. Well, we're going to finish the Star Wars trilogy. I've talked about Star Wars, A New Hope. I've talked about Empire Strikes Back, and now we're going to talk about the third one, Return of the Jedi. Yeah, it is my favorite Star Wars movie, and it's here at number 27 on my list. So pretty high on my list. Again, it's a 5-star, 5 out of 5 movie. And I know most people are like, Empire Strikes Back is the best one. And it's very good. I have it, fairly high on my list as well. And I have all 3 movies on my list. I think it's the best trilogy, in my opinion, the best trilogy ever made still. Of course, I fell in love with these movies as a kid. It's another one that was, as a boy, man, I love the idea of, Jedis and lightsabers and space battles. I mean, all of it works so well as a boy. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this, all the action and all that's in it. And this one's probably the best action movie of the 3. I think it has some of the best action sequences, to be honest. And the thing, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Ewoks ruined the movie. And that's why a lot of times Return of the Jedi is kind of criticized and the reason why people won't put it number 1. I kind of agree, the Ewoks are a little silly at times. Ewoks fighting the Stormtroopers absolutely makes no sense. Stormtroopers have armor. There's no way, and they have laser guns. There's no way they would lose against a bunch against Ewoks. I get that part. That part, yeah, it's a little far-fetched. But it doesn't ruin the movie for me. That's just a little part of the movie. But Um, like I said, the action sequences are some of the best I've seen and still work today. I mean, I love the whole first part with Jabba the Hutt and going against Jabba the Hutt and trying to rescue Han Solo and then having to fight here I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm forgetting names, but the Rancor. Yeah, I love that scene. Luke had to find the Rancor. Amazingly done, puppetry work. Worked better than CGI, to be honest. And then the Sarlacc pit and them having to, survive that. I remember as a kid just absolutely loving that scene where Luke jumps, grabs the what do you call it, the pirate like board thing, the plank, and bouncing himself back up, doing a flip. The lightsaber gets shot in the air. Luke catches the lightsaber as he lands and starts doing his lightsaber stuff. I can't tell you how much that what that did for me as a little boy watching that and going, "Holy cow, that's like one of the greatest action sequence I've ever seen in my life." It still gets me today when I see it. And I go, "Oh my gosh, I remember that first time watching it and how much joy it got me." It's going, "Wow, that was a cool idea, cool sequence. Everything works so well." Anyways, but yeah, I love the whole that, and it's just that they have anything to really do with the plot. It's just like here's an opening, really cool action sequence, and they do that. And then we get to the plot of it of trying to, uh, the whole thing about going to like the moon of Endor or whatever and blowing that station. And then we got to go into the second Death Star and blow that up. And then Luke has his own personal story with Darth Vader and all that. I love that there's like three different sections that we cut across. The editing is so good. And all three action sequences are pretty good. I mean, you get the ground kind of battle with Han Solo and Leia and the Ewoks against the stormtroopers. That whole part is fun, a lot of shooting and stuff. And then you got the space battles are really great with the Millennial Falcon. Yeah, that all stuff is great as well. And then the best part is the Luke and Vader story. And that's where the emotional core of the movie is. And I think that's why I like it the best. Because I love the whole idea that Luke is going to try to save his father, even though he's evil, and all this. You think there's no redemption for this character, but Luke loves his father so much that he's willing to sacrifice his life to save his father. Just love that whole idea behind it, and him defying the Emperor, and that whole scene. I mean, I'm spoiling the movie a little bit, but that whole scene where he's getting hit by lightning and he's, "Father, please," and you can see the confliction in Vader as he looks back and forth. You can't see Vader's face, but just by his movement of his head, you can tell that he's conflicted. Amazing job. And how that all ends, I still love it. Still gives me a lot of goosebumps anyways. And then the ending, just of course, the good guys win. Uh, seeing the Force Ghost at the end always put a smile to my face. And I think it's my favorite of the three because it has such a great ending. Because the first two are just to be continued, and then you get to Return of the Jedi, and it felt like a real good ending to the story. Really satisfied, like the most satisfying ending you could have for the story. So love that. Love how they triumph over evil. Love the redemption story of Vader. You never think it's Vader. Usually bad guys are bad. You want him to die. You don't think about him being redeemed necessarily, but like here's a sense where the character actually gets redeemed and it makes sense and it works. And yeah, just really great storytelling overall. Yeah, like I said, great action, great storytelling, some great emotional moments. That lightsaber fight between Luke and Vader, one of the best lightsaber fights in the whole series. So much emotion behind it, but yeah, love this movie. Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, here at number 27 on my list. Got one more movie to talk about. Number 26, this is my favorite Western movie of all time, and that is The Searchers, which of course stars John Wayne in the lead, directed by the great John Ford. It's my favorite Western, it's my favorite John Wayne movie, my favorite John Ford movie. John Ford also directed Mr. Roberts, by the way, or kind of half directed it, I should say. But yeah, I remember my dad telling me about this movie, and my dad wasn't into Westerns really, and I didn't really watch a lot of Westerns growing up because my dad wasn't really into it. And I don't know, I never really watched them or got into them. And I wasn't into John Wayne at all. But I remember my dad saying, "Oh, Searchers is a good movie. You should probably watch it." It's a, you know, and so I'm like, "Wow, my dad is recommending a Western, so it must be something to this." So I remember seeing this when I was, you know, a teenager or whatever it was, and absolutely loved it. Yeah, it just blew me away. Uh, I mean, the storyline, the performances. I mean, to me, this is John Wayne's best performance, and should have been nominated and maybe won an Oscar. I mean, he is so good in this role. The cinematography, absolutely amazing. Some of the best cinematography I've ever seen. Yeah, just a great looking Western, a great emotional story behind it. I mean, if you don't know, the whole movie is John Wayne is coming back from like the Civil War, I think, visiting his brother and his brother's family. Um, but they get attacked by Indians, and like his whole family basically gets. I'm spoiling the beginning of this movie, but his whole family basically gets massacred, except for one of his nieces survives, played by Natalie Wood. Her and her sister, I think, get kidnapped, and the Indians take him, and so him and his nephew, actually his nephew's still alive as well. His nephew was with him when it all happened. So, and he's half like Native American. So he takes his nephew. I should say who that is. Doesn't say. Jeffrey Hunter. Sorry, Jeffrey Hunter, who plays his nephew. They go searching. It's called Searchers because they go searching for his niece and try to rescue her from being kidnapped by Native Americans. So he's tracking them and all that. And through different seasons, it takes a while. They go through winter. They go all this stuff until they, you know, find them. Then there's a question of, is she savable? Can we save her? Or yeah, and all this stuff. So there's some moral questions there as well. But like I said, John Wayne, man, what a performance! Like this, there's one scene where he finds one of his family's dead bodies, and another, I guess maybe another family member that survived, or maybe just a friend survived. You know, was like, "What did you see?" And John Wayne says, "Never ask me that question. As long as you live, never ask me that." Oh my gosh, like it gives me goosebumps because John Wayne's performance, you really feel like he saw something that really, you know, shook him. And he's like, you know, don't ask me what I saw, you know. He's, you know, angry, he's, you know, sad, all the emotions. I mean, John Wayne wasn't a method actor. He was just a guy that, you know, kind of got into the movie business, didn't study acting, didn't know any of that. And but he's still an amazing actor. You still feel those emotions that he has in each scene so well. Even though most of his movies he kind of plays the same character, but the characters he plays are so good that there's no problem there. He doesn't really do characters, you know, he doesn't do different characters. He just does John Wayne, but doing John Wayne is great, so it works very well. And it does this for sure anyways. But yeah, it's just a very beautiful movie. There's a lot of emotional moments. There's some comedy, not a lot of it, but a little bit of it, like I said, and actually really good ending. Musical score is amazing. John Wayne, absolute master director. This is his best work, in my opinion. Of course, you see, you know, the famous, like, what do you call that? Monument Valley. It's so well shot that John Ford really made famous in a lot of his movies. You also got Vera Miles, who's from Kansas, and Ward Bond, who's always great. He's also Mr. Roberts. Ward Bond's like in all these John Ford movies. He's so good as well. And like I say, Natalie Wood plays a small part as well. So good cast. Yeah, this is definitely a great epic movie that needs to be seen if you haven't seen it. The Searchers, here at number 26 on my list. So that's my 5 for today. Hope you enjoyed those. Please feel free to comment. Do you like these movies? What do you think? Are they in your top 100 as well? I love when people comment and tell me, you know, where they are. A lot of times I'm like, yeah, this movie's good. It's at this, and they're like at the top 10. I'm like, oh wow, man, you love this movie more than me, and I love this movie. So yeah, I always like to hear that. But besides that, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking it, and thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a good day.